Hello, I'm Carol. I'd like to share with you some features of our Kirrawee Hempcrete Duplex. Before I start, I'd like to acknowledge and pay respect to the Darawal speaking people who were the traditional custodians of the land on which our home is built. The framework for our project was the 3 pillars of sustainability, which have well-being at their intersection. Social sustainability comes from accommodation suitable for us as we age and that provides independence for our daughter. For environmental sustainability, minimising our carbon footprint was an important factor as we were doing a knockdown rebuild. Designing, building and living to minimise our energy and water consumption is very important to us. Attending to the social and environmental sustainability pillars has resulted in financial sustainability. We've lived in Kirrawee for over 35 years. Fortunately, when we bought our property, we had the foresight to look for a block that was close to public transport and with a northerly backyard. Our block ticks those 2 boxes, as well as being close to the Royal National Park and several lovely beaches. Doing a knockdown rebuild has allowed us to remain in our local community with our social connections. We used the 12 gold level core design elements from Liveable Housing Australia as guides. This resulted in our building designer, Tracy Graham, winning last year's Building Designers Association of Australia's National Award for Liveable Housing. Our design includes wide doorways, no internal stairs or threshold steps, and external gradients that suit wheelchair access. Although we currently have steps into the back garden, there is space for a ramp if needed. Environmental sustainability has been enacted through planning and building of our home and how we live in it. We use the block's northerly aspect to maximise passive heating and cooling, with extended eaves and a hallway oriented to catch the prevailing breeze for summer cooling. Our living areas are sited to the rear of the homes, maximising our privacy. In winter, sun enters the living areas from morning through to late afternoon, heating the tiles on concrete, which warms the whole house. Louvers at the front of the house allow control over ventilation and prevent rain entering the porch. The hall can be closed off using cavity sliding doors to create different living and sleeping zones. Even before building started, we were conscious of being as environmentally sustainable as possible. We salvaged items from the old house, such as the kitchen sink, Tupperware, door handles, and even the motor for our ducted vacuum system, which have all been used in the new build. Our builder, Nick Soden, recycled tiles, bricks and timber from the old house. The key feature of the new build is the use of hempcrete in all external walls. Hempcrete not only looks amazing when left exposed internally, but also has exceptional thermal and acoustic insulation properties. Hempcrete also sequesters carbon, making it ideal for our build. Another important feature is the gabion retaining wall. This was cheaper than other solutions and looks superb. Importantly, its permeability allows rainwater to seep through into our stormwater detention system under the permeable paving that's used all around the outside of the house. We grow veggies in both backyards. The front yards have low water usage native gardens. There are 2 500-litre underground tanks and an above-ground 9,000-litre tank to supply rainwater for all our gardening needs. As a host for scraps on the ShareWaste platform, we are connected with locals who give us their food waste, which we compost for our garden. We also give our donors fresh produce when we can, a win-win for all. In 2022, we composted about 2 tonnes of scraps that otherwise would have created about 3.9 tonnes of CO2 equivalent emissions released from landfill. Our use of drinkable water averages about 75 litres per person per day, which is about 1/3 the average usage in Sydney. Our homes are all electric, but with our energy efficient design and practices, we use 1/3 less grid electricity than the average Sydney household, even when we use off-peak grid for charging our EV. I don't have any data concerning maintenance cost or food bills, just a gut feeling, but I do have data that shows our energy and water costs. Last year, the combined net cost for electricity was $13, even though we're not eligible for any concessions. The cost of charging our EV was $186. In our old ICE or internal combustion engine vehicle, the same distance would have cost nearly $3,500. The average annual water bill in Sydney is $1,062 per year. So on average, our bills are almost 30% less than average. It's actually hard to see how we could reduce our water bills further, since 80 to 90% of the cost comes from fixed service charges. Overall, we're very happy with our livable homes, and apart from a few tweaks, there's really nothing major we would do differently. Before I finish, I'll leave you with a photo montage to recap. Thank you to everyone who supported us, directly or indirectly, through our build and into the future. Finally, thanks for listening to our story. We hope it helps you in your journey towards sustainable and comfortable living.